Spacejunkie menni Amerika!
Itt a Starbase-ről!
De menjél már!
Everybody say hi.
Ó, anyám, mekkora ez a torony.
And so, good evening everybody. This is a little bit unusual stream from us on Spacejunkie YouTube channel because we usually stream our live programs in Hungarian language, but today we're gonna make an exception, mainly because we have a special guest today, straight from Starbase. But before I'm gonna go and introduce everybody, I'm gonna wait for the feedbacks, so please let us know in the chat that you can hear us, you can see us, everything is good, and then we can kick it up. In the meantime, I'm gonna say a couple of words in Hungarian. Sziasztok, ez egy angol nyelvű stream lesz, és itt van velünk Maria, akit mindjárt bemutatok angolul is, és vele fogunk beszélgetni a Starbase telepről. So, okay, everything seems to be green. We got Maria Pointer with us, but it seems like are you here with us, Maria? Hello? Okay, we lost Maria for some reason.
Of course, at the beginning.
It's typical technology, but I don't know what's going on. Let's give it a couple of minutes. Probably I'm gonna disconnect her, and hopefully she will be back in a second with voice. Everything worked up until we began.
Until the intro.
It's so typical. I mean, we always say in Hungarian that it's the enchantment of the live streams. This is what you get. But hey ho. So let's hope that Maria will be back in a second, because obviously she's our special guest today, straight from Starbase. Let me see if she wrote to me. Guys, do you wanna... hi Andrew, in the meantime, from Rocket Future.
Hey.
And
hey.
let me just write to Maria, and let's see what's happening on her end. This is so typical.
In the meantime, it takes some English course.
Okay.
Red headway, yellow headway.
Okay, so obviously we had the common experience. We tried to fill the gap until Maria is back. The thing is that we met Maria. So we went to America to see, well, first of all, we went to Florida. Anybody who's just joining and has no idea who the Spacejunkies are and why are we so close with Maria. So we went for a 2 weeks trip to the US, and we wanted to see, and hopefully we got Maria back. Yes! Hey! Hello!
Waiting. I was very patient. I thought, well, that's a long intro.
I saw you in one position, and after a while I started reckoning that something is going on, because you are too long in one position. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, I don't sit still very long.
Staring at the intro. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, well, nobody's sitting still out here right now
Of course.
for very long. There's a lot happening. Yeah. So we're very busy.
Of course. So, we've got Maria Pointer with us, Boca Chica first neighbor. Tell us, please, for the beginning, why are you the Boca Chica first neighbor? Just for people who doesn't know you, maybe.
Well, Maria and Ray Pointer lived out in the wilderness with our little beach, and all of a sudden they started cutting grass around our house and setting up survey stakes and doing hydrology studies. And then one night I met Elon, and he goes, "Oh, you're that first neighbor over there," and it stuck. He dubbed me as first neighbor. So wherever I live, or all my other properties, I still have SpaceX in view and can see it. So I say I'm still in your backyard. Yeah,
Because
SpaceX is still in my backyard.
you've been there from the beginning, obviously, and
Yeah,
you shared
yeah.
some famous photos from your kitchen that they were building the MK1 and before that the Starhopper. I mean, just tell us something
Legendary
about it.
Starhopper, yes.
Just out of the window, yeah.
It was crazy. That was a real famous window. A lot of photographers from all over the world, journalists, videographers, newspapers, magazines, they all came, and the only thing they really wanted was a picture from that bedroom window. So I should have charged.
Absolutely. The reason why I'm not gonna show these photos is because very soon we are rolling out the interview we shot with you, because we happened to meet you when we were there, and you told us the whole story of how it started, how SpaceX came around, and how they started building certain hardware. And it's a fascinating documentary. So obviously we don't want to jinx it. I don't know. Balint, you are the one who's editing it. What's your take on the possible rollout time?
Possible rollout. Well, it's. I don't want to say it's in a Elon time, but yeah, hopefully next week.
Okay,
Hopefully next week.
That's better than Elon time. Elon time would be 2
Well,
weeks.
well. Of course, we have to translate it to Hungarian afterwards. But I think we can launch it without it first, or we'll just figure this out. But yeah, soon, and it'll be about an hour long interview.
Ooh, no one wants to hear me talk that long.
Of course they do.
Yes.
Of
Yes,
course
they,
do.
yes, they do.
Or
yes,
they just don't know yet.
Get the tequila and just enjoy the storytelling.
Yeah,
They
that's
just
what we
won't
did.
recognize that it's 1 hour because it will be so fascinating that, it's only 1 hour. I would hear Maria even longer, so 3 or 4 hours.
Yeah, listen to
Yeah.
you. Yes.
It was actually 2, I think.
Yeah, it was 2. It was
Was
over.
it?
Yeah. Yeah.
It was over
So
2 hours.
we
yeah.
cut it
talked.
cut at
We
1 hour.
talked. Yes.
But it's
Well, we
it's,
talked so much we almost missed the static fire right outside the door. It was-
You know what?
Just the time to
That was
go, and then
something.
which one of you checked the chat? I think
Me.
it was on Lab
David.
Padre, you, and you
It
said,
was me, yes.
"Hey, it's venting or something," and I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah,
And we just go out, and obviously we
without
are.
notices, they just static fired. Why not?
Your husband Ray actually calls you, and I remember we were just sitting there and listening to Ray telling you that, "Oh, did you hear the siren?" We were just like,
What?
"What siren?"
We didn't know that there would
Yeah,
be a
it
test
was a
today.
great alarm clock. Yeah, he was over at Celia's house fixing something, and he was worried about us because he didn't know what the siren was about. And I said, "Well, they do the 10-minute warning siren, and you heard a siren?" And he goes, "Yeah, they just," and I'm like, "Oh, shoot." It was not good.
That was absolutely funny. Before we talk about the current affairs of Starbase, because there are a lot, I think, and there's a lot going on. Let's talk a little bit about Starbase, the place itself, because as you remember, I got seriously in trouble just whilst we were waiting for you, and how harsh and how unforgiving South Texas
Yes,
is.
it's there's something about the atmosphere in the equatorial zones, and we're right at the northern latitude of the equator. So when you come down here, if it's in the summertime, wintertime's not so bad, but in the summertime, it's critical that you stay hydrated because the evaporation is so fast from your skin surface that you can get critically depleted of minerals and nutrients, and you can have a heart attack. Your heart can be starved of all of the minerals so fast that you will collapse, and then you can go into heart failure. And I have rescued 3 people, including you. But it's not just water, but you want to keep your head covered. You want to keep pouring water over your head. Like I pour water right on my head. I try to keep with Gatorade and Pedialyte, anything with added minerals and nutrients. Zero water, really good waters. Don't pick up distilled or purified waters when you come visit South Texas and Starbase. You want to get a cooler, and you want to put ice in it and a washcloth in that ice so that you can cool yourself in the back of your neck. I can stay out all day in it, so I know anybody can, because I'm from Alaska originally. And I learned these tricks. And of course, a big brimmed hat is great because it keeps your ears from getting sunburned. It keeps heat stroke down. Just that little brim of a hat really does lower the temperature on your head. And then also light clothing, not black, but white or light, and bug dope, a lot of bug spray. You think, why if it's so dry and hot? But the dew point in the mornings is so great in these lower latitudes that the dew allows the mosquito larvae to survive. So there's some tricks, and then it's wilderness. So I don't know how to politely say this in your translation, but bring toilet paper. There's no facilities. It's wilderness. You need a cooler with survival food. You need a full tank of gas when you come out, because there have been road delays, a lot of road delays. You could be sitting in a road delay for 20 minutes after, thinking, oh, I've got just enough gas to get back to Brownsville. No.
So you have to be prepared for sure.
And
leave
Austria is
enough gas in
about
the
40
tank.
minutes, right? 40 minutes
Yes.
distance with car as well. So it's not like a walk in the park.
Yeah, it's 23 miles to the nearest gas station up Highway 4.
If I know correctly, if anything happens to you, everything is half an hour away. If you have to go to the hospital or something, you are bitten or you by a snake or anything, so boots, long trousers, I guess it's a must, or at least.
Yeah, we do have venomous snakes out there. I've killed a few, but that's because I was building things and I was in the grasses. But if you go in the dunes, there has been one incident in the whole 20 years that I've been out there for a copperhead, and they're deadly. They're so stealthy, and they're very aggressive. So if you see it and you try to back away, they are aggressive. I don't think you can outrun it if you're in the dunes. So you do want to have boots on where you can be aggressive back. And I've done that with a coach whip snake, which isn't a venomous snake, but it's a white snake, and it loves the dunes. And it has chased me to where I've had to just stand my ground and stomp at it. And it can raise up about 4 feet, the whole length of itself. So it's quite scary when you find a snake like that. I'm like, they are not fun to mess with.
Wow.
And they're the most common in the dunes. And then rattlesnake is just everywhere, but believe me when I say a rattlesnake is a very polite snake. It will let you know about 4 or 5 feet before you step on it. It will make a noise. It'll rattle. And that's just whenever you hear that. Well, if you look at some of my early videos, you'll hear rattlesnakes, because I was right by the rattlesnake pit on some of the static fires. And I just stayed by my car, and, you know, the vibration and noise made it to where they wouldn't come near me. Since then, they've demolished that rattlesnake pit. It's gone. It was there for, decades. It was huge. No, the other snake is, so if you see a rattlesnake in the dunes or alongside the road, which I really doubt now because it's so populated and snakes don't like vibration, just back away. Just back away and give it its space. The other snake is the moccasin. I don't really see that in the dunes anymore. It leaves a different trail. It leaves a different animal trail.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen that. So the other thing is in the dead of summer, when it's really dry and hot, really dry and hot, you'll see coyotes get real aggressive. And I warn you of that because we still have rabies down here. And if a coyote gets extremely aggressive to you, it's either two things. He's either a juvenile that has no territory and he smells water and you've got the water, or he could have rabies. So, you know, I've had coyotes in the middle of the night come around my car and startle me, and he's startled and I'm startled, and we just kind of go, okay, and we just kind of turn our backs on each other, and then all of a sudden he's gone. That's a good coyote. I like those.
So definitely whoever gonna go down to Starbase in the next days, weeks, months, definitely take extra care. It's very easy to underestimate the place, the wildlife. I'm not saying that we did, but we did a little bit. I think for me, it was the factor of tiredness. I mean, we've been traveling then in the past week and a half tirelessly from Florida to Houston, then down to Starbase, to Brownsville. And obviously, when you are in Starbase, you just don't want to rest because you don't feel tiredness. You're just going because you arrive. And I remember when we first drove to the build site, and we were just like going absolutely nuts that you are there.
You were
and then you can
on
see
adrenaline.
it. Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
the
And it
adrenaline,
just
be careful.
keeps going on and on and on. And all of a sudden, you just don't pay attention to the crucial bits of your body.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. You always have time to recover if you pay attention to the signs. And the signs will be lightheadedness, nauseousness, and you just give yourself a half hour to recover.
Yep.
And then take precautions, and you should really feel good about exploring the equatorial wilderness, like South Texas. If you know what you're doing, you should challenge yourself and say, I can do this. I know what to do. I'm going to take extra care and just make sure that everybody with you appreciates that knowledge and does the same. So we've done quite a bit out there, work wise and recreation wise. We've built our home in the middle of summer. I've ran heavy equipment and sit on top of front loaders and survived it. And if I can survive it, gosh, come visit Starbase.
Definitely, if you want to go down, definitely contact Maria because she's the best guide you can have. I mean, you brought us sandwiches and Gatorade and water, and I mean, really, we were so, touched by it because we didn't ask for it. I mean, for that much, because, okay, so the story is...
we couldn't be more thankful, so actually, you saved us.
Yes, because the story is that we left home. We were in a rush because we wanted to see the sunrise, I think.
The sunrise, yes.
Yes.
No, that
was a different day. No, we left without our sandwiches and drinks and everything.
We didn't know about
we just forgot the sandwiches.
Yes.
I think
rookie
you guys
mistake.
told me that you had to leave in a hurry, and oops, Oops, you
Yes.
said, and I said, uh-oh. So
Yep.
I stopped and got
Yep.
that.
Yep.
No big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Super nice
You
of
play
you.
it by ear. Yeah.
So
You
definitely,
did
I guess we
great.
were.
definitely.
I guess we were too excited to get there.
Yes, I think partially. Okay. Current affairs. What's going on in Starbase? Give
Where do I start?
exactly. Give
my
us
God.
your input because you've been having your fingers on the pulse of the events long.
Well, my producer's in town, and he's been here almost a week, and we have ran ourselves ragged trying to figure out how to get our Starlink to run enough speed to do live streaming, which has been a challenge.
Okay.
But we have our package together, like what we need, and we've practiced with cameras. I've got one more monitor to mount on a tripod and try to figure out how to track with that manually. So we've been out to Starbase and witnessed just this phenomenal amount of activity. It's a buzz. It's like, and even the SpaceX people that I talk to say, have you noticed how busy it is? And I'm like, yeah. The corner of LBJ Boulevard and Highway 4, there's this little restaurant that I call Finn Park because of the MK1 fins. But that's not what it's called. It's called Occupy Mars Restaurant. And anyway, I call it Finn Park because of Dave Finley, the CFO with SpaceX, and the MK1 fins. I just thought it was cute. But it's packed. It's packed all the time. And last night, or was it the night before last, there wasn't any parking left anywhere around that restaurant. Every house in the village is doubled up. It's got full occupancy and all the campers. I talked to the one of the people that was there, and they've been there waiting for a couple of days. You've got ground crews and general contractors going around, kind of like straightening up everything, trimming, making it picture perfect. One guy was taking all of the LED lights in the yard, and he was straightening them up with to making them all perfect in a row. And I'm like, man, that's got to be a crazy job. Then last week, I mean, they were putting in these new, I think I got them on one of our YouTube videos on Starship Boca Chica YouTube. And it was the new campground for the new trailer park for the wooded sided trailers back by the airboat. There's an airboat that runs from South Padre Island now.
Hovercraft.
The hovercraft one.
One.
And
Okay.
it goes to the end of LBJ Boulevard. So I was standing between the docking port of that and the wooded sided trailers, and that whole area has been a rush job. I mean, 24/7 to get all of that done, and you could just see the relief last week when they were done with all of that. And they pretty much got a schedule with the hovercraft one from SPI. So there's a lot of overflow with the VIPs and the investors and the employees at the KOA campground, because they take up half of that now. And that's it's full capacity. It's just full capacity. The food trucks, the restaurant, the trailers, the parking, it's just going. And we even saw tour buses going inside the compound. So they are doing VIP tours, and there's new traditions starting, and that's so exciting. Rocket Ranch, everybody knows Rocket Ranch, right?
They do bus
Yeah,
tours, don't they?
Yeah, that's the closest campground. Full facility, very comfortable. It's right on the river, and they take their guests all the way down to their outpost, which is next to my Starship Station on the river. And they started a new tradition where they say farewell to the rocket. So every time there's a launch now, if you go down to Boca Chica Beach in the evening, there'll be a big bonfire and, I don't know, hot dogs, beer. and they'll be doing that tradition. So that's something you can look forward to if you're traveling. And you don't have to be staying at Rocket Ranch to join in. They invited all of us. It was open to the public. And their Patreons sponsor all of that. So, you know, our Patreons at Starship Station and Rocket Ranch, it's what keeps the gas in the car. It is so hard to tell people how far of a drive it is out at Starbase. So when people host things or when they bring you content, like if you look at all of our Twitter and Facebook and YouTube channels, that's content that's very expensive to get. And anything that is contributed to it, no matter if it's on Patreon or PayPal, whatever they do, with who they choose, it's really appreciated. And as you guys know, you've seen how hard it is for me to get content.
Absolutely. But
Yeah.
you're on the right track. I'm just showing in the live view one of your live streams, just to show people, you know, what kind of streams you managed to put together, which is amazing. By the way, we are. Do you know Andrew from Rocket Future? He is watching us, by the way.
Yes, I do. Yes.
So,
Hi, Andrew.
so by the way, hi Kalim, hi Nick. I see quite a lot of people from the international community, and hi to all of our usual suspects as well. So yes, it's so nice to see that people like, you know, yourself or Andrew, you know, putting together live streams. And
Oh, yeah.
It's not just about NASA space flight. It's about all the other, you know, tiny little sort of micro media outlets, I would say. And, you know, just like your photos, your insight, you know, the tweets, that what you think is going on, or, you know, these are so valuable for us who are just not happen to be there, you know. So it means the world for us. That's what we're trying to say.
It's really important. Every streamer has their own niche. A lot of people don't realize it, but I was the first host for the very first live streamer, which was My Lab Padre Guru Buddy, Luis Valderas. And I tell you, it's been wonderful getting to know other live streamers now too. But to have Lewis's camera 24/7 out my bedroom window for a year, that was a real that kind of like addicted me. I became very addicted. I was already addicted to putting my tripod out my kitchen door and doing my Facebook blogging. Every night I would blog every picture and tell people why I thought it was this or what was happening there and how I know that. But now with all the streamers, it's just compounded to where now I get to watch other streamers. And John Davis is my producer, and he's doing the live streaming for the Starship Boca Chica station. And it's been a lot of work, so I know how hard these people work now to do a live stream with the Starlink and the monitors and getting in position in time. Yeah. I've always been post-production, and that's so labor intensive. Oh, yeah. It's just not worth it. And you don't get the coverage. I do sell post-productive coverage to international TV journalists, but it's possible to do that with a live stream also. So, you know, screen captures. So I really enjoy popping in and out. I think people should just, you know, make sure they stop into all the live streams on launch day, because we'll all be there. Say hi to them. Make sure everybody gets a little piece of the love.
Yeah. Tell us in brief, what does it feel like when there's a live testing? Let's say SN8 or SN9, the earlier prototypes. I know this is not going to be anything remotely similar to what we're going to see hopefully on Monday, because it's 33 reptilian gonna roar.
So are you guys still picking me up? I'm seeing someone saying they lost Maria. I don't know if that's just in London or...
No,
Okay,
No,
so
it's
I'm
all
here.
good.
Oh,
It's
you
all
are
good.
here.
Feel like, have you ever stood by a railroad track where the ground rumbles and roars? Well, when you are near a launch, you get it's not an impact at first. You think you would get like a big powerful impact. It's not. It's kind of quiet because the sound takes you a second to get to you. And then as it rises in the sky, you feel the thrust. And just when you think that thrust and vibrating on the front of your thighs and your chest, when you feel that thrust, you think it should be diminishing and lessening as it goes higher, and it doesn't. It increases. And that raised my adrenaline the first time. And CBS News was standing right next to me in our yard before we moved from Boca Chica. And he looked at me and he says, "Yeah." And I was like, "Is this normal?" It was pretty shocking.
Yeah.
And then one time I was standing with the SpaceX employees on the hard checkpoint for, I think it wasn't SN5. Remember when they still called the prototypes SN for serial number 5?
Yeah.
Well, it was SN6. And it was real quiet. And the SN6 fired and we saw the dust fly. And I started seeing the wind was from the east. So that was different. And I started seeing the grass kind of lay down as it came across the field towards me. And I turned my head and shaved my eyes, and the dust just kind of went poof right up all of our bodies. And I looked at everybody, and we just went. It was.
How far
Like,
were you?
It was only one engine, so
Yeah.
we just cannot imagine what's gonna be with 33 or even 32 or 31 engines.
Sick.
So it's totally insane.
Well, that's basically because of the wind direction.
Yeah.
So, you never get that easterly. It's pretty rare you get a southwesterly or a southeasterly, but you never get that hard on direct east wind. So that was a learning curve for all of us. And we were very close. I mean, we were really close. We were just a mile and a half, if that.
Yeah, I was asking how far you were, which is mile and a half. It's 1.6 to 2 point something kilometers, just for the European viewers. I'm in England, so here is the same rules apply. Imperial. Okay, wow. We heard two. One with you, and then we had the longest lasting, I think that was 20-second, but that was still one engine, right, David? Booster 7.
Pardon me?
No. Wasn't that
A
3
couple
engines?
of days later.
Come again?
What was the longest
one.
duration? There was one engine.
Longest it was one engine, but about 20 seconds, I guess.
That was
When
the
we were
second.
there second time.
It was
That
like
was the
maybe
longest.
2 or 3
The
days
second-
after we
second
saw it
flight.
with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, so we were experienced the first static hybrid booster 7.
Yes.
Then we get back once again, but for to SPI.
Yeah, the South
And
Padre
we
Island.
just saw there the one engine, but 20. Yes, I guess it was 20 seconds. We saw the big plume, and why isn't finished yet? What's gonna be there? So,
It was just
And they
going.
just
Just
run
went
going.
on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Going.
But it wasn't as loud, obviously, because we were further
No, of
away. I
course
mean, we were at your backyard, at Boca Chica, at Starbase. You know what? We keep telling this story to everybody, that it was so cool. We've been waiting for you, right? For a few hours. And we were busy. We were shooting and photographing and all kinds of things. And we noticed that everybody is sort of staring at us. So they didn't know that we are your guests. So
Yeah.
I remember we texted you that, is he all right? Or people just looking a little bit suspicious. So I said, you said, yeah, don't worry. I will contact SpaceX. And after you did, people started waving and smiling. It's so
The whole
fun.
story's changed in any seconds. It's okay.
So good.
Tell you, some of those guys out there are the sweetest, youngest, most handsome SpaceX workers I've ever known. And they are just in the best part of their life that they could ever be. I remember being a sailor on ships and having such good pay and being at the top of my game. I mean, I look at those guys and they're at the top of their game. They're at the time of their life and they're seeing history being made. So when I see them, I get real excited and they usually reciprocate. And then they also respect what Ray and I did, because when they took over our home property, the homestead, not the river, but the homestead, they realized how hard we worked and they respected that. Elon respected that. And it's they're having fun. They're just having fun. And they really like to know that people respect them and aren't out there to just take pictures of them. So when I tell them, oh, those are my people, leave them alone, they're fine. Yeah, they've been vetted.
Yeah.
So they can drop their guard down and then they start waving and they'll pass out water to you or icicle pops. It just depends on what kind of day it is.
That was a lot of fun. How long do you think this transparency will stay at Starbase? Because to be fair, we, as I mentioned, we have this program every week on our channel, and David is our expert on when it comes to Starship, and he knows all the nitty-gritty, details, and obviously we see everything, but the question is that, I mean, this is such a unique thing that you see the biggest, most powerful rocket development right in front of our eyes. It's not hidden somewhere away in the middle of the desert or somewhere. So how long do you think SpaceX is going to keep this transparency, or do they consider?
It'll be for my lifetime. They'll be transparent, but not yours, I don't think. I think,
do you think they're going to stick with it?
In America, the laws are that, the highway leads to a public beach. And now I had this conversation with Elon about making a secondary northern access underneath to bore under the Boca Chica and make
about it now.
Yeah, with the boarding company.
Well, no, they're not talking about making a second entrance to the North Beach, Boca Chica. But I did suggest that. And if that ever happens, then I can see where the Starbase factory and the launch site would be sanctioned off from the public. Because, then they would have like 7 miles of public beach up to Boca Chica, or up to Starbase. But I don't see that happening really in the next 10, 20 years. I really don't.
So you think it's mainly the location and not necessarily their approach? Because if they want to screw the photographers, they could just put higher fence, higher walls, and that's it. All the nice views will be just gone. But they don't do it.
You got to remember, Elon uses us for content providing, and it's a very big publicity campaign. He even told me to continue doing what I'm doing because I'm a SpaceX influencer now, and I didn't know what that word meant. I wasn't aware of that. I just was documenting progress because I'm a photojournalist from way, way back, and in the 70s and 90s. I have always had a camera in my hand, so I did it because media and transparency was important to my family, to my husband and I did it because it was exciting. I did it because it was happening right outside my door, and I didn't really have a clue where it was going in the beginning, and I didn't really know how I felt about it at first. And as things grow, people evolve and the projects evolve.
Yeah, so this transparency it's an interesting question because SpaceX could be less transparent even now, but they just don't make these or they don't raise these big fences because it's like Adestra just wrote in the live chat, it's a free marketing for them. So why
It
not?
is. Yeah, they do not have a big marketing budget. They don't have a media gallery budget. There's a backstory to that, I know. Let me tell you that real quick here. Do we have time? But
Yep. We
Do
already
it.
have.
Okay.
We have another 15 minutes roughly.
okay, when we started allowing people to come in and view from our yard, I called SpaceX and talked to one of the managers there, and I'm sorry, I got distracted here.
That's all right. That's all right.
So the employee insisted that I continue doing what I'm doing. She goes, "We do not have any intentions of holding a media gallery event. Feel free to do it." And when I had a chance to talk to Elon, I asked him if that was, something, he would want me to continue doing. So I continued doing it on Starship Station on the river. But their outlook is if you can do it, do it. It's all good for us.
Yeah.
One time they had to send the sheriff down to clear our driveway because there was like 300 people on the highway.
Oh my god.
And there was no way we could get out of our driveway.
Oh my god.
And I called her and she said, "Well, it's just going to be bad for a little while, Maria." She goes, "This will calm down." And I said, "No, it will never calm down." And she disagreed. And I said, "Well, we shall see." And it's just gotten crazier. So SpaceX does appreciate all the content providers and all the SpaceX influencers.
Absolutely. And I think we are hitting our final topic for today. And that's gonna be when
Let me guess.
orbit. When orbit. We'd like to hear your guess because in the chat people are
I'm
asking.
guessing Monday morning. Just hope.
But
that
you
we
think
get
they
the
definitely
license.
gonna go for it? I mean, like they're gonna try
Well, I know
if they get.
they're so geared up that they can't stay geared up really that long. Your adrenaline just you just run out of energy. So yeah, they have to do something Monday, whether it's I'm pretty sure they're gearing up for the launch because they've evacuated the area for Monday morning. But if they don't do the launch, if they don't get the launch license, they'll do testing. And that for me is just as fun. It'll be a big boom and they'll static fire or they'll wet dress rehearsal, hopefully. They'll purge. They'll exercise the tank farm. And I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, if they put up the FTS, so the flight termination system, I guess they won't do any tests with the FTS actually installed. So maybe it's a bit too much risk.
Well, maybe that's why they haven't stacked it, because they did arm the FTS yesterday.
They did arm already?
From what I've heard. So they'll disarm that if they don't get the launch license, and they'll restack and they'll test.
Yeah.
But
So
actually they can get the license even only a couple of minutes before the launch if they want. So it's like
Really?
airlines. Okay. Yes.
Can they?
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
can.
can.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
Well,
that happened with
It has not.
11.
It has not to be days before. So
The cursed child.
Yeah, CES and 11. Okay, just when Elon just went crazy on Twitter. That's where is my F? F.
Yeah.
Effing.
Star.
Effing.
Where is my effing license? And it just were there, and SN11 just launched. So
Yeah.
of course it will be more organized now because it's a bit more riskful launch. And it's an even more important test for SpaceX as well. But in my opinion, everything points in this direction that they will at least start in the morning, on Monday morning, at least the propellant load, and they will see.
Yeah.
Maybe they won't have even, so
confident.
maybe they won't have the FAA license even, and they just start the proper loading, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah.
I'm pretty confident that they're going to shoot for Monday morning, and if they have to wait for the license, there'll be launch readiness, and just delay the T-minus. So,
And the other thing I heard, or I read, that some NASA HLS guys heading down to Starbase as well, with a quite big contingency. So I guess the whole HLS delegation is heading right now there. So
which delegation?
NASA HLS,
The
Oh,
human landing
right.
system. Yeah.
Human Landing System delegation, which were actually overseeing the whole couple of months lately. So they overwatching every test of SpaceX lately. So it's not about SpaceX anymore. It's NASA as well there. So
It's great.
Yeah, I really can't see them delaying this launch. There's so much riding on moving on. Moving on is critical for SpaceX at this time,
Yeah.
and they have to get
Yep.
24/7 off of that orbital launch mount. I want to see the silver bullet go up. I want to see the next
good.
phase happening, back to back. Just because that's how the drill pattern has to be if they're going to make progress. And they're building it so fast.
I think
and what do you think?
one thing is very important for the people who are gonna watch the Monday supposed attempt, is that they're not gonna launch it no matter what. So obviously they try to maximize the attempt success. So let's say, I think so on a live stream, I think that was Alex on NASA spaceflight, and they were speculating. So a Falcon 9 can be launched with one engine out from the 9, with the 8 engine. So he's trying to put the percentage of obviously the 33 Raptor engines, and he said if 4 is out of the equation, it will still gonna reach orbit. But the most important thing, that at the time of launch, if not all the engines are operating, I don't think they're gonna launch it. Because why would you risk already 1 or 2 engines out from the equation, and then on the way, if more gonna fail, then you're just decreasing your chance of success. So probably ideally they want to launch the vehicle with all the Raptor engines fired. So if there is an anomaly with any of the engines, I think they're just gonna call it off. So
And
that's
I
maybe-
disagree.
You think so? You think they're just gonna, no matter what?
No, I don't think they're going to be brash. But I think that if they have a engine or up to 3 engines would be my speculation. I wouldn't say 4, just because 4 might really be too big of a pucker factor.
Okay.
But I think if they had an engine in first at ignition, I don't think they would abort the first engine or 2, and then of course the 3rd engine could probably crap out behind them. But no, I think they really need to see what they can learn from this data, and they need to get it up, because there's a lot of contracts and financial
Yeah, true.
development needed from this data. And you have government and military and NASA and everybody waiting for this development. This isn't something that can just sit around
True.
for 1 or 2 Raptors. I don't know.
Maybe
That's just my-
True.
Sorry.
We'll see.
And maybe it matters that which Raptor gonna be off. So because it matters whether it's a fixed one or it's a gimbaling. So because of the trajectory, it matters actually.
Yep.
So for
does
example,
matter. Yeah.
let's say they lost 3 center Raptor it's not
No.
equal that they lose 3
On the
fixed
other end.
raptors.
True.
So
And I guess it depends on which side. If all of them happen to
Yeah.
be on one side, it's not shared
Because of the
evenly.
balance, yes.
Exactly. Because it means that it's
Well,
like
now we have everybody's head spinning because that's quite a bit of calculating.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I imagine they've probably got this scenario where they can figure out what they can afford to lose ahead of time. I know that if we lose an engine on a ship, we got generators online, or I'm sure they've got a scenario or a backup plan in restricted maneuverability. Yeah.
Wow.
and what do you think how far they can get? So
Crazy.
It's going to be fun
what's
to
your
track.
opinion?
So watch for our videos because we're going to be manually tracking.
Oh,
We're old
nice.
school.
Nice.
I know, it's scary. I've manually tracked all the rockets so far, and it's if you go back and look at any of the old launch videos that John has produced, that's pretty hard to do. It's it's
How far you'll be? How far
Yeah.
you'll be?
5.5
4
miles?
miles.
Oh, 4
4
miles.
miles.
4 miles.
But you're gonna be
Yeah.
home,
So-
or you're gonna be at your second?
I'm going to be over on Starship Station on the
The
river.
Starship.
Did you
Oh,
see that? Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the one where Lappadre's camera is?
Yeah.
That's right
We
next
were there.
door to lab.
About
I was
there,
there.
So you're
Yeah,
allowed to
Rocket
be
Ranch
there.
between labs. It's labs at Keith's Reynolds house, and then it's Rocket Ranch at David Santolini's, and then there's Homer Pompous, the goat farmer, and then there's Starship Station, Maria Pointer. So
Wow.
Yeah.
it's kind of fun. Yeah.
I saw the lookouts. Yeah, the tower.
So you are allowed to
I
be
was
there. Are you not too close? Obviously not, because you're allowed to be there. But
No,
Uh-huh.
if they, I think in the EIS, the exclusion zone was always, it was actually the soft checkpoint was supposed to be on our road on Richardson, on Tarpon Richardson, and somehow it got moved up to Oklahoma. I don't know how that happened, but the road there was always the boundary for the projected launches.
okay.
If you go,
Okay.
my house here, my house where I'm sitting is just 4.7 miles.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, I don't know how they would make it any wider without having to evacuate, millions of people.
Oh yeah, I see
So-
your point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Maria,
Balint, question.
I think we need to wrap it up very soon. I don't know
Oh,
if you have if you have one quick one, maybe. Balin?
Well, I don't know. If it I was thinking about where you'll be, but that's answered.
Answered.
But yeah. Well, I don't know if how many guests you'll have with you.
Well,
So,
I've had 3 journalists contact me on right now, just as I was talking to you guys. So it's growing every day. I'm trying to keep it really down right now because I only have one porta potty on the property.
Yeah.
So
So it'll be busy.
Crucial,
For sure.
crucial,
too much
crucial.
information.
Maria, please
Very.
promise us that you're gonna
just one
put
more
down
quick question.
one camera facing towards your guests. you will benefit from that
Okay.
seriously.
I do.
With the
I do
faces.
I have one camera dedicated to always covering the film crew.
Awesome.
So I'll
Reactions.
pan it out to get the whole people. Yeah.
Awesome. Dave?
So back to starships. So what's your opinion? How far they can Starship get? So it will clear the tower. It will blow up at the launch site.
Max
What's
Q,
max
staging.
Q, stage separation?
Yeah.
Both stages coming back. So what will be the final phase? What
What's
do you
your
think?
guess?
I'm going for the full shebang. I think both stages are going to get to their destination.
Also,
I really
quite
do.
That's
optimistic.
the spirit.
I mean, they
Oh, I
thoroughly
have faith in
tested
these
them.
guys. I know these guys. This is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they really tested the crap out of it. I'm sorry, pardon for my French, but I mean, they've done so much testing that I think they are absolutely confident. If everything comes together, I think they're gonna
But
smash
booster
it.
never flew. Don't forget
True.
it. Booster never flew yet.
True, but it will on Monday.
I don't think I wouldn't make it to full destination. I think the Raptors are good to go. I think the structure is good to go. I think the launch mount has been upgraded to the point to where it will survive. That was my biggest worry. I mean, a lot of people worry about the rocket, but I was worried about the orbital launch mount, because you take that out, you take out the game. Yeah,
Absolutely.
so don't forget about the orbital launch mount and the tank farm.
Maria, just a couple of comments because the chat is relatively active. Do you have to open all the windows, do you think? It's a relevant question.
I don't know what's going to happen to the office. The office has very old, brittle glass.
Okay.
And I don't really know what's going to happen with that. We're going to take some plywood over there just in case. Our office faces the orbital launch mount, as you remember. The village is actually behind our office on Espersen. So I've talked to SpaceX about it, and they said they'd, if they were first on the scene, they'd check it out for me. I don't know. I really don't have time to have a broken window right now.
Absolutely. And just one more thing. Well, first of all, thank you, Vég András, for the 5-channel membership. Thanks very much. You are very generous as always. And just one more comment from Nora Fures. She said, as I watch this stream, I get the feeling that Maria is the Spacejunkie guy's fairy godmother. And I feel it more and more.
Bless you. And here's your fairy dust.
Okay, well.
Yeah, it's been fun. It's been real fun knowing you guys. And
good
I
luck.
follow you guys as much as you follow me.
Absolutely. I mean, we obviously will do. Good luck for us. Good luck for you. Good luck for us for the Monday. We are really looking forward. And thanks for really just coming by and just having a few words with us, because I think our followers they eagerly waiting for some close opinion about what's cracking down in the Starbase. So yeah.
Well, it's very busy. It's very exciting, and I think you ought to put it on your bucket list. It's really fun.
And there is only one first test flight.
Yeah.
So make sure
There's
you
only
watch
one.
it. Everybody who's watching us now,
Whenever,
make sure you go watch it.
Whenever it will be, just enjoy.
Yeah.
Somehow make everybody free himself.
Yeah. Okay, so just a couple of housekeeping. I'm gonna play a clip from our documentary from America. Only the first 2 episodes are done, but they are long. So if you like foreigners going to America and seeing them experiencing, let's say, the Florida amazingness, because we've seen launches in Kennedy Space Center and all these things, there is a trailer that's coming in a second. I'm gonna put all the links into this video. I think Maria's channel is already in the video, but I'm gonna put her Twitter and her Facebook account, so definitely make sure you follow her. Maybe if you can support her, because she's doing a lot for the community. So she's got her Patreon account now, so please, if you can, go and fund Maria, because she's bringing us fun stuff. So Maria,
Definitely.
thank you again for being
good to see you guys again.
and
was
go
very nice.
Starship.
Thank you and good luck.
That's gonna be so cool.
Good luck on Monday.
That's gonna be so cool. Okay, take care, Maria. Keep in touch.
Adios.
Take care.
Bye.
Okay, and let's have the trailer for now, and then our intro. See you guys.